There are three approaches to creating a funnel. You can build a funnel from scratch. You can use an existing template and simplify and simply update the content. We'll also show you how that is done. Then thirdly, you can modify the design and look and feel of an existing template with something called CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheet. This is a language that's used in creating presentations on web pages. Um, and if you're an advanced user, you have knowledge of programming, then you might feel comfortable in leveraging this feature to further customize your funnel page. An important um, information to keep in mind is the funnel page structure. I've tried to describe this in this illustration. So you first have a section, and everything lives inside of the section. They are the overall container. Each section can have its own background image or color. Then within a section you have a row, and these rows may contain columns, and once again they reside inside of the section. Then you have columns, and they live inside of the rows, and you can have one to four columns. And then you have elements, and these are the basic building blocks on the page. They reside inside of the rows or columns, and elements are things like video, an image, a headline text, a form, a footer text, and many more items. So keep this in mind as I demonstrate to you creating a funnel. These items will pop up as we design our page. So we'll use that to create a webinar funnel. This is this is what we shall look to create in leveraging an existing template. And then there will be the second page, which is a congratulation page, and we look to create this design and content, once again leveraging an existing template. So let's go ahead and begin. I shall now go into Clickfunnels. When you log into Clickfunnels, this is how the homepage would look like. You click on this button on the menu bar, and then you click on Funnels. When you click on Funnels, you have this funnel page, and these are funnels that I have created in the past. And so therefore what you then do is you click on Add New. We'll then click on Create New Funnel. We'll click on Host a Webinar. We can then select a live webinar or a webinar replay. So in this case, we'll select a live webinar. We'll give it a name. We click on Build Funnel. So ClickFunnels already provides you the two pages in your funnel area. So for the webinar registration, we'll go ahead and select a template that is to our liking. So for this example, I already have a template in mind. So this is a template that we want to look to select and modify. So we will click on Select. And then we'll click on Edit Page. Alright, so this is the page that we want to edit, and we want this page to look like this design. So we're going to change the text and the look and feel of the page to look like this design. So let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, we're going to get rid of this divider here. So to get rid of this divider, if you can see that, we place our cursor on it and we click on the delete. Are you sure you want to delete? You said yes. Then we would look to update this text. So we double click on it and we will highlight it and then modify to say exclusive free training from Kelly Johnson. Okay. Then what we want to do is we want to get rid of this button. So we highlight it with our cursor and we click on delete. Are you sure you want to delete this element? Okay. We will then also change this text here to say how to make 1K per day from home. Okay. So we want to remove the bold from this text and we want to make it italic. We click on italic, and then for this text here we highlight it, and we want to make it bold. So we double click on it, we highlight it, or we make it, click on the B to make it bold. And we also want to change the color to black. So we highlight the text, the orange box appears, we click on settings, and then we change the text color the bold color to black. Okay, then we also want to add another element underneath it. So we will select, let's go with sub headline. We will place our cursor on it, double click on it, and change the text to 100% free. Next class starts today. We want to also make this italic, so we highlight it, click on the I. Okay, and we want to move it. Let's want to move this text up a bit closer to how to make 1,000 per day from home. So we place our cursor on it, the orange box appears, we click on settings, and then we will then move it a bit up. All right, there you have it. Now we want to work on the left and right hand side. So for that, we will then now work with what we have and make the modifications. So for this text, we double click on it and we will modify it to say free online workshop. We'll then place our cursor on the text beneath it, and that one we will double click on it, and we also want to modify this to say multiple time and date options available claim your spot and select a time that suits. Now, as you see, it's really large. We want to change the font size of this. So what we do is that we place our cursor on it, we click on settings, and the font size, we want to bring it all the way back down, smaller. And we also want to remove the bold that's on it. So highlight it and remove the bold, and then we can correct any spelling. Okay, there we have it. We're happy with this divider here. We don't need this time, so we will look to delete this, placing our cursor on it. The orange box appears and we click on delete. Are you sure? Yes. Then in here we want to place an image to the left and fill in the text on the right. So let's start with filling in the text. So we double click on it, and then we can highlight the top text, and we can type in the host name. For this example, it is Kelly Johnson. Then we also click on the text beneath that and add information. So CEO and founder of Mission Accomplished. And then to fill in the image on the left, we place our cursor on it. The element orange box appears, click on settings, and you have your image. So we click on this button here, and then if you have an existing image that you've already uploaded, you simply select it and you say add image, and it then appears in this slot here. We don't need the host name here again, so we look to delete this. And okay, and we want to add a button to say register now. So to do that, we're going to place our cursor on this text, click on the plus button, and then we look for a button. Okay, and then we place our cursor on the button, click on settings, and then we make some changes like we did before. Set action, this is to submit order and form. Go back, change the text to say register now, and we're fine with the color. And we can add an icon beside the text. So to do that, we go to icon picker. We look for an icon that we may want to select. So we found a check, so let's go for this check, and as you can see, it's added beside your text. Okay, now we want to make changes to the right. So there we would then look to place our cursor on this text, double click on it, then you can change the text to say you're going to learn, and then this time we can get rid of this, place a cursor on it, and then click on delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. And then we can modify. We can keep this bullet and simply modify the text as we like. So similarly, as you modify, you just double click on it, and then you would then be able to change the text, for instance. And then so we are happy with these two areas. We don't need this box, so we would look to delete it. So you pretty much place your cursor on it and you click on delete, you should delete, and that takes away that box. And then for the rest, you can then modify it and add the required text that you desire, following the same methods that I just showed you in terms of how to add elements and update the text. So then we'll go ahead and save this. So I run on page 1, then you click on save. And then similarly for the next the thank you page, we will then leave this. We click on exit, and then you click on the webinar confirmation. And similarly here, you have a number of templates that will show up. So therefore you go and select a template. So we want this template, so we select this template. And then we'll click on edit. And then here, similarly, we go ahead and make modification to this page. So for instance, we don't need this logo, so we place our cursor on it, and then we delete it. And actually want to delete the entire section. So we look for the section bar, and we then delete the entire section. Yes. And then we want to modify the text here, so we place our cursor on it, and we double click on it, and then we can modify the text to say congratulations, your seat saved. We can maybe reduce the font size of this text. So you look for the, place your cursor on it, the element box appears, click on settings, and font size, reduce it a bit. Yeah, okay, there we go. Then we're happy with this text here on the top. We're happy to add a video in here. We want to add basically a few bullets down here. So to do that, we will delete. Well, we can keep this text, but let's delete this button. So we place our cursor on it, click on delete, and also want to delete this as well too. So we place our cursor on it, click on delete. Okay. And then, so now what we want to do is we want to then modify the text in here. So for instance, one block out 2.5 hours, modify the text in here to show up early, and then you can add you can add more text beneath that. To do that, a couple of ways you can do that is you can simply clone this. So you place your cursor on it and you click on clone, and that adds the text, a copy of the text beneath it, and then you can go ahead and modify it. So 3, use a desktop computer. And then also you may want to add a divider in between 2 and 3. So you have a divider here already. So here you can then decide to clone it. It adds one beneath it, and then yeah, and then you can decide to move it. So you simply drag and drop it, and it moves it to where you want it to be placed. And that's how you can simply create these different rows, as many as you would like. Then on the right hand side here, you can then go ahead and modify the text. And once again, you simply place your cursor, double click on it, and you can then, for instance, in this example, you can say we want to remove this text, so we simply delete it. We want to modify this text, we place our cursor on it, double click on it, and we can just simply put the changes, the text. 3 simple steps to make day. And then you can add the date and time. You can also remove the image if you don't require an image, and to do that, simply highlight it and then click on delete this image. And then you can leverage and just simply update your footer and your copyright sign. So there we go, and then we can look to save it. So we give it a name, and then you click on save. And then we go back to the funnel page, and now you have your 2 pages available, which you can then complete and set up and make available. So that completes the training. Thanks for your time, and bye for now.